The man pressed his forehead tightly against the ground, his face covered in sand, but Jack didn't dare to reach out and wipe it off because right behind him was a 100 m high cliff. If he fell, he would be smashed to pieces. He exerted all his strength, his brows tightly furrowed, concentrating all his power in his 10 fingers. He dug them deep into the loose sand, gripping tightly, not daring to make a single move, but the sand was too soft to support Jack's weight. In an instant, his entire body lost control and began sliding downward. At this critical moment, Jack quickly came up with an idea. He forcefully spread his legs apart and pressed his head against the ground to increase friction. Only then did he barely manage to stop himself. Just then the phone in his backpack rang. This was his only chance to call for help. Jack tried to slowly lift his right hand, but before he could touch the phone, his body slid down another short distance. At this moment, Jack was extremely tense, his entire body trembling as he clung to the ground, but he was unwilling to give up his only chance of survival. After hesitating for a long time, Jack adjusted his breathing. This time, he carefully lifted his left hand and reached for his backpack, gently unzipping it. But just as he was about to grab the phone, his body suddenly lost balance and began sliding down rapidly. At the very last moment, before he fell off the cliff, Jack used all 4 limbs to grip the edge of the cliff wall tightly. This barely stopped him from plunging straight into the canyon. However, the danger was far from over. He had no escape route left. Above him was loose sand, and below him were hard, jagged rocks. If he fell, he might not survive. Jack was terrified, his mind overwhelmed with fear and helplessness. Suddenly, Jack seemed to have thought of something, began silently counting time. It turned out he was calculating the interval between the ocean waves crashing against the rocks. After several rounds of confirmation, Jack seized the right moment and decisively turned his body. He had no other choice. Finally, Jack successfully dropped into the sea. Although he didn't fall to his death, the water was too shallow and his waist hit the rocks, causing him to briefly lose consciousness. Fortunately, he quickly regained awareness. He then managed to swim back to the surface and climbed onto the nearest reef, escaping death. He felt an immense sense of relief, and the tension in his body finally eased. Suddenly, a sharp pain shot through his palm. Because the water was too shallow, his hand had been cut by the rocks, leaving a 10-centimeter long wound. But luckily, he was finally out of danger. After calming himself down, Jack got up and prepared to leave immediately. But as soon as he took a step forward, a cracking sound came from his waist. He collapsed onto the rocks and lost consciousness.